All right, so the first thing that you need to know about psychrometrics is it is not psychometrics, although it will drive you psycho sometimes if you've ever stared at a psychrometric chart and felt your brain short circuit. Don't worry, you're not alone. Most of us saw it for the first time in trade school if we went, or maybe there was a job that we were trying to solve a particular moisture problem or do a capacity calculation. But regardless, my first thought was, why does it look like a rainbow crashed into a spider web? But here's the thing. That messy-looking chart is one of the most powerful, impactful tools in all of HVAC. It's the treasure map of comfort. And like all good maps, it tells a story. Not just about temperature, nay, but also about the invisible relationship between air and water. And today, we're diving into that story. Where the psychrometric chart came from, what the word actually means, and why one little curved line on it secretly rules your entire life as an HVAC tech, whether you know it or not. Let's start with the name, because it sounds like something you'd need a therapist for. Psychrometric comes from two Greek roots, psychro, meaning cold, and metric, meaning measurement. So literally, the measurement of coldness. Now again, today we talk about it as the science of air, but that's not what the original meaning was. Early scientists used psychrometers, paired thermometers, one with a wet bulb and one dry, to measure humidity. The difference between the two temperatures revealed how much water vapor the air could still hold. Now again, whenever I talk about this, that is a way of thinking about it that it is not exactly scientifically correct. It really is just about the fraction. It's not about how much the air can hold. It's actually about the vapor pressure of the water vapor itself. But again, keep in simple terms. When you're comparing wet bulb and dry bulb on a psychrometer or psychrometer, the greater the difference between wet and dry bulb temperature, the drier the air. And that's where our entire field of humidity control and humidity measurement begins, with a couple of thermometers and a little bit of wet cotton. The psychrometric chart as we know it today didn't appear overnight. In the 1800s, researchers like James Apjohn in Ireland and William Farrell in the US were tinkering with equations describing air, temperature, and water vapor. But it was Willis Carrier, yes, that Willis Carrier, who finally visualized it. In 1911, Carrier presented a paper to the American Society of Mechanical Engineers titled Rational Psychrometric Formula, but spelled weird, like formulae. That paper became legendary. It translated all the messy physics into something engineers could actually use, a chart that plotted temperature, humidity, and enthalpy on a single piece of paper. Imagine being in that meeting in 1911, a bunch of engineers in three-piece suits realizing they could now plot the invisible. It must have been like discovering fire all over again, but with nerdy dork math. So let's talk about this treasure map. What's on it, really? Picture the horizontal axis as dry bulb temperature, what your regular thermometer reads. Now the curved lines sweeping across are relative humidity. The left axis, that's humidity ratio, how much water is actually in the air by mass. The diagonal lines are wet bulb temperature. And those other angled ones, well, that's enthalpy, the total heat content of the air, both sensible and latent. Yeah, it's a lot, but here's the beauty. Every state of air you can imagine, from bone-dry desert air to a steamy Florida attic in the jungle, lives somewhere on this chart. Move horizontally and you're changing sensible heat. Move vertically and you're changing latent heat. Follow a diagonal and you're mixing both. It's like a GPS for the atmosphere. Now let's talk about my favorite, what I call the real boss of comfort, the dew point line. On the chart, it's the saturated curve running along the left edge. Everything below it is vapor. Everything on it or beyond it is liquid water, otherwise known as condensation in this case. Cross that line and things start sweating. Or in the case of weather, clouds form. Your coil, your ductwork, your windows, all of it obeys that curve. The dew point is the temperature at which air can no longer contain any more vapor water. Any surface colder than that temperature becomes a dehumidifier because the water condenses onto that surface. That's why the beer can you use to calculate your superheat sweats on a humid day. And that's why attic ducts often drip. It's why Psychrometrics isn't just for textbooks. It's for every service call we run, at least in humid climates. All right, let's talk quickly about the two kinds of heat. And if there's one thing that the Psych chart makes perfectly clear, it's the split personality of heat. Sensible heat changes temperature, and latent heat changes moisture content. When you warm air with a heater, you move horizontally to the right, pure sensible change. When you remove moisture with a dehumidifier or cooling coil, you drop vertically, latent change. Most comfort systems are somewhere in between, moving diagonally down and left along a cooling path that changes both temperature and humidity. And that's the trick. Air conditioning isn't just cooling, it's a delicate dance between the two forms of heat energy moving. So let's do a quick nerdy example. Let's say your return air is 75 degrees at 50% relative humidity, which is generally what we look for in the summer. On the chart, that's roughly a humidity ratio of 64 grains per pound and a dew point of about 55 degrees. So if your cooling coil drops the air down to 55 degrees dry bulb, that means your coil surface is at or below the dew point, so moisture condenses. When the supply air warms back up slightly as it travels through ducts, maybe leaving the registers at, say, 58 degrees Fahrenheit, it's going to be in the 90% relative humidity range. Draw that path on a chart. It's a diagonal slicing across those curves. That's the story of every forced air cooling system you've ever installed or serviced. Now you might be thinking, okay, cool story, bro, but we have apps for that now. And it's true. Your digital psychrometer and the apps that it connects to generally do all the math for you. But the chart helps you understand the relationships. It shows you how temperature, humidity, and heat interact. Without that, the app is just a calculator with no soul, and you don't get the connection. And often, it's the connection that helps you troubleshoot what to do about a problem. For example, do you know what insulating the back of a slot diffuser will do, or heating up the room around an air handler that's sweating? If you've never paid attention to the relationships on the psychrometric chart, then probably not. It also means when a homeowner says,
"It feels clammy in here,"
you can translate that into latent load is too high. It means that when you add a reheat or tweak airflow, you know exactly which way it's going to move. And that's power. Dangerous power. Don't become a psycho about it. So some lessons here. 1, the psych chart is a map of air's secret life. Every system you touch does something in terms of that map, if it's a forced air system. Dew point is king. Surfaces don't care about relative humidity. They care about absolute saturation. So when things start sweating, pay attention to dew point and understand it. Comfort is a balance. Sensible and latent heat both make up human comfort, as well as mean radiant effect, which we're not talking about here at all, but there's more to comfort than just the temperature on the thermostat. And understanding beats guessing. Apps are great. I love apps, but also the chart helps you to think like a psychro. Willis Carrier gave us the first psychrometric chart in 1911, but the truth behind it has been here since the beginning. And every foggy morning, every sweating glass, and every storm cloud. The chart just gave us a way to see it. So the next time you're looking at a humid house, a dripping duct, or a customer saying, "It just feels weird in here," imagine that invisible line on the chart, the dew point, quietly ruling the entire situation, and the man who first plotted it for us, Willis Carrier. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next time on the HVAC School Podcast. Thanks for watching. If you're willing, give this video a thumbs up and drop us a comment. Don't forget to hit that bell icon to stay updated with all of our future videos. And as a quick reminder, HVAC School isn't just a YouTube channel. Dive deeper with us at our main website, hvacrschool.com. Curious for more knowledge on the go? We've got you covered. Tune into the HVAC School Podcast, available on all your favorite podcast apps. And while you're at it, join our thriving Facebook group. Also, don't miss out on our free mobile applications available for both iPhone and Android. We're all about community. For techs, by techs.